Okay, this is the last before their interval. Let's get back.
Yes, I couldn't agree with John Parrott more there, Dennis. He really is hitting the ball sweet, Ronnie, isn't he, when he gets in? And when he's in that kind of form, and when he's just stroking the ball and getting all that movement on it, you just feel when he gets in with a chance that he's going to make it count. There's the pot success.
Yes, he's up at 96%. Mind you, Steve Davis throughout his match with John Higgins, most of it he was at 94%.
Yeah, and at one time got up to 95%. And the worrying stat when we looked at that pot success is Mark Williams down to 78%. Obviously missing blues off the spot like that don't help. Do you lose more percentage for those easy shots?
Yeah, Steve and John in the studio were saying about Mark just looking at his tip there, and maybe the boys were right. Maybe he just had a little bit of a miscue to miss the blue by so far. See the nice dome on the tip there, that's what you need. Some people used to come to you, John, and say, how do you screw the ball back? I said, let's have a look at your cue, and they've got a big flat tip on it. You know, they couldn't screw it back an inch.
Ronnie, a little bit fortunate to have such a good safety shot as this. He just caught the bump of the middle pocket. Shorter length. He's left something for certain into this right corner. First couple of frames, Mark Williams was finding the baulk cushion with regularity, but not so with the last few shots. It's dangerous to leave Ronnie with his hand on the table.
He cued right across that one. That's very unlike Ronnie. Got away with it. He hasn't left anything. Particular type of shot. You've got to deliver the cue in a perfectly straight line. Mid-session interval coming up after this. I think we all could do with an interval, John. All the excitement today was Steve beating John Higgins, Man United beating Spurs. We were all up in the players' room watching that.
Yeah, and I got from that Stephen Hendry doesn't support Manchester United.
He wasn't a happy bunny, was he? But there we go. He says he's a Hearts supporter, you know.
Well, home is where the hearts are. Two legs near this corner pocket, both are potable. The left-hand side one just gives him a little bit of room to manoeuvre the cue ball. It definitely goes. It's not easy. He's almost full length of the table away. He's just coming down to have a look to see if there's a possibility he could play it and play position for the black. Deciding one on the left-hand side of the table. Even though he's been playing consistently well this season, Dennis, I still don't think he's happy with his long game, is he?
You're absolutely right, John. But, you know, he has knocked in some cracking long pots, but when he's in the balls, he's as good as ever. But yeah, that's just the one slight downside. And there you see, he's down at 50% compared to Mark Williams' 75%.
Yeah, and yeah, when we look at the overall pot success, Ronnie's at 93 and Mark's at 78. So unless it's a long pot, Mark's not potting too many of them.
Bit of a stalemate here. In fact, there's every possibility. Could have a re-rack. Bit premature looking for a re-rack, but that red is causing a problem. One up by the yellow.
I'm sure if Mark could get through to the red in the baulk end, he'd like to play safe off it, but well, is he chancing a double here? Double into the left middle. He did. That's just messed the game up a bit more, the blue being knocked on the side cushion.
He may have left a path past the green to pot this red. I think Ronnie can see enough of it. So. That's the last thing that Mark Williams was expecting. He thought he was going to have a free double there. Well, there's not many places in Sheffield you can get a free double, is there, John?
I don't know, all these wine bars before 7. He's played a beautiful shot there, you know. Inch perfect position.
6.
Both these reds are available. I think if you had a choice, you'd like to play the outside
30.
one of the two, but he's too good on this one to want to play that. But
40.
he could play the run through without cannon through the red, so a little cannon now into this cluster. Perfect.
And how he played that as well. I mean, he
21.
knew this red was always on. He played that beautifully. Such a delicate
22.
cannon. Judged to perfection. As I say, Mark Williams thought he was going to have a free shot at doubling the red.
29.
Didn't think he would leave the one up the other end of the table, but that's what he did. This is the one he had a go at, but never envisaged leaving the one up past the green.
30.
And we know with the way Ronnie O'Sullivan's starting to play, if you make one mistake, you could lose the frame.
Yes, how many times have we seen it? And player just plays a
37.
shot, thinking it's a shot for nothing, just leave one slight chance, one
38.
red, and that's the modern game, it has to be said. One slight chance and they clear up from all kinds of situations. And of course the thing is with Ronnie, he does it in double quick time, so
45.
as our referee Roy Walker says,
46.
you know, blink and you'll miss it. Sorry, I said Roy Walker, didn't I?
Yeah, good old Roy, good friend of mine, a terrific Irish comedian, used to do catchphrase. Yeah. He could have said, pot what you see.
54.
I'm just trying to remember what his catchphrase was. I mean, I know his catchphrase, but he had his
61.
own when he was a comedian, wasn't he? On the Comedians, that's where he first made his name. Like Roy,
62.
nice fella. Played golf with him a few times at a few functions, haven't we? Well, beautifully played once again. The touches, you know, they seem insignificant
69.
at the time, but it's just the weight that he plays the little cannons. You've got to be so precise with them.
70.
And even though they weren't ideally placed, it's only taken them just over 4 minutes to compile this.
Well, anyone who can make a maximum in 5 minutes 20 seconds is well, bordering on
76.
genius for me. I mean, we commentated on that, didn't we, Dennis? They should have had Peter O'Sullivan doing it.
77.
I don't think that'll ever be equalled in the history of the game. I can't see anyone else achieving that.
No. But then you never say never, because the standard of play now is just unbelievable. 83. He'll be trying to knock that red in, hoping to get the century. It won't happen. That'll be enough for Mark Williams. So Ronnie O'Sullivan really showing some terrific form, and he takes into the first session interval with a 3-1 lead.
Going well for Ronnie, and I just wonder how much previous form actually counts, or indeed previous meetings between these guys, because looking at the stats, John and Steve, in a significant world ranking event, Mark Williams hasn't beaten Ronnie since something like 2002. A long time to wait.
Yes, I'm not absolutely sure that the World Championship, the stats don't go out the window a bit, because everybody's very, very uptight, or can be. It may be the case, I don't know. But interestingly, Ronnie O'Sullivan in his press conference after Liang Wenbo seemed to be on a bit of a downer, talking about his game. But I think perhaps correctly identified what a lot of us think in the game, that he needs to be tested to produce of his best, as if, you know, it's a nice situation to be in, that perhaps he's played enough snooker where he's bored by normality. He needs now more of a test sort of to get the best out of himself, and he knows full well with the Mark Williams that he needs to produce it, and there all of a sudden he's up the gears.
We sort of saw that with Stephen Hendry in a way at the end of his match against Zhang, and it really needed a critical situation for him to get really motivated and get back into gear, John.
Yeah, I think that's the point that Steve's making there, and what Ronnie's been saying all week. And I tell you what, though, didn't he play a shot in the last frame there, by the way? Oh, what a shot. He's ended up getting on a brown here, and we're saying, well, what are you going to play here? He has punched this in the middle at 100 mile an hour and stunned down for one red on the bottom of the pack. I mean, that is just superb cue ball control.
The cue ball control, as John said, was absolutely inch perfect, and the amount of time he took to identify that shot was astonishing as well. A lot of players would have gone, right, OK, what shots have I got here? Well, I've got a really difficult brown in the middle pocket because I've got to hit it hard, and then I've got to stun down, and they'd spend a minute building themselves up for a big shot like that. Ronnie just gets down, he sees the shots instantly, and that's why he's so quick around the table. His snooker brain is fantastic.
Yes, indeed.